This is Kaufman is Alive YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at an old comic book, Spider-Man number 22, The Revenge of the Sinister Six, Part 5. This is by Eric Larson. He's on art and he's the writer. As you can see, this issue is chock full of guests: Ghost Rider, Deathlock, Sleepwalker, Hulk. Speed lines everywhere on this cover. You can really start to see the Japan style influence on 90s comics start to creep in here. Really intense, action cover. Really love it. I love the bat on the pumpkin bomb here as well. So this issue is called The Sixth Member. I've got reviews of the first 4 parts of this crossover on my channel, so go check those out if you haven't already. Get a nice portrait here of Doc Ock to open up the comic book here. And he's with his Sinister Six. There's actually only 5 of them right now. And they're all squabbling amongst themselves, basically talking about how they're all worried about each one of them trying to take each other out. None of them trust each other, as villains do. We get Peter waking up at his house. In the last issue, he had just gotten back from a battle with the Sinister Six, and he crashed on the floor, and MJ was there to take care of him. We get back to the Sinister Six here. We finally see Sandman, who we haven't seen in an issue or two since he got turned to glass in the first encounter with Dr. Octopus. And I was kind of wondering what happened to him. So, I feel like Larson missed some of the storytelling points maybe in the second or third parts of this series, I should say. Because this is when the time period when his house burnt down. So a couple of the issues were a little shorter, and he probably didn't get to get some of the character work and story points in as much. So we get a little bit more of it here. Peter's already got his cyborg arm, which is actually just a cast that's been put on to help him heal. He's got a hairline fracture. And MJ is sewing up a new costume for him, and she says that she'd rather sew him up a new Spider-Man outfit so he doesn't have to wear that awful black costume again, because that's all he's got left in the closet. So that's pretty funny, I feel like. And then Peter says, hey, don't make the eyes too small. And she says, how do you expect anybody to take you seriously with these big ol' eyes? You look like Felix the cat, which is kind of a funny Easter egg, because if you know about Todd McFarlane and his love for Felix the cat, and he'd always try and sneak Felix the cat into his issues. So we got Eric Larson kind of calling back to the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man run here. And then Peter goes, the big red spider goes on the back. And she's like, I know. Then we get a little bit of character work here again for the Sinister Six. Like I was saying, Larson's writing Hobgoblin like a religious freak here. He's like, it's the will of the Lord that guides us. The Almighty speaks to me. His will is communicated to me, and he commands me to use my powers to help spread his word soon. All the world will be ours, and we will save the sinners from eternal damnation with the help from the one above. And Electro is just like, boy, he's nuts. But Doc Ock says, yes, but he's malleable. We can use him. And they're bringing up, they have a new partner. So the 6th member of the Sinister Six, they're waiting to unveil here. And we get back to Peter and MJ again. Larson likes to do this kind of storytelling, I've noticed in his comics, where he has an A and B plot, and he'll go from one page to the next, telling each story. And that's what he's kind of doing here. We get some kind of funny banter here that shows just how dated this comic book is between MJ and Peter. She puts on the radio, and Peter doesn't really like it. He says, maybe a recording of a circular saw cutting some sheet metal. Maybe that would be better. She says, you don't like Guns N' Roses? He says, sure I do. She says, you don't like anything recorded in the last 10 years. He's like, Elvis Costello, Elton John, Nick Lowe, Dave Edmonds. She's like, my point exactly. You don't like anything new or cutting edge. He says, you forgot your favorite, the Fine Young Cannibals. MJ says, they're passe. So, pretty funny stuff, I feel like. And in hindsight. And MJ, she finally says, tying up a loose end from a couple stories ago here, a couple issues back, she was in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but she has a nude role. And she lets Peter know that she got the part. And we see the big eye from Peter here. So we get back to the Sinister Six. They're about to depart to the Hydra base, which they want to take over because they have even more weapons that they can use to help take over the world, which is their ultimate master plan, before they all turn on each other, I suppose. And Hobgoblin asks, what should we do with Sandman? And Octopus just shatters him. So that seems to be the end of Sandman for now. We get a nice panel here of Peter and MJ looking at each other, talking about the part that she got. Again, I love the way he draws her hair. And Peter's not very happy. He says, I can't believe you got the part. And he's talking about all the people that they know that are going to now see her in nude scenes. And then in kind of a cringy line, she says, if this is your idea of support, it's a darn good thing that you're a news photographer and not a brassiere manufacturer. So, like, okay, whatever. And then we go back to Solo, who got taken out in the last issue by Cyborg X. And he's recovering. He's in this like weird bath of just like green goop. He calls it a special bath, whatever that is. And he's really confused about what happened. He thinks that Dr. Octopus was rescued by the robot that actually rescued Spider-Man. But he does figure out that it was Mysterio who cast an illusion, so he knows that he was tricked. He didn't kill the Sinister Six like he thought. So we get the Sinister Six. They're attacking again. It's on the news, so Peter jumps into action. S.H.I.E.L.D. finds Deathlock in the rubble of the last battle that they had. And then the book really starts to open up. The artwork really starts to take off in this book here. We get a double splash page. Just sound effects everywhere. We got Chris Eliopoulos here doing the lettering work. I think he's doing all these sound effects if I had to take a guess. Love this guy's head down here and his hand. They've all got like weapons, like all these giant guns. Larson loves to draw these kind of guns. Savage Dragon would run around with these guns in that book. And Spider-Man shows up, and Sleepwalker's here. Ghost Rider and Hulk, they're all here as well. They've been tracking the Sinister Six. I love this page of them all jumping through the wall. There's like debris everywhere. I love this face on Hulk. Again, they've got Sleepwalker just breaking all the panels here, which was kind of a new thing back in this time period in the early 90s. You wouldn't started seeing a lot of it more in this era. Just some awesome battle scenes here. Again, Larson loves these poses of guys getting knocked around and just flying through the air. Looks really great. Spider-Man gets his cyborg arm blown off here by one of these robot drones of octopuses. And Sleepwalker, his alternate identity, Rick Sheridan, wakes up. And I always thought Sleepwalker was kind of a cool character where his alter ego, when he sleeps, is when Sleepwalker, comes out and becomes the vigilante. But he wakes up and he disappears, so he's out of the fight now. Didn't really add much, but he was there for a few panels at least. I bet Larson just liked to draw him. Draws a pretty cool face on there. So we see a nice shot here of Spider-Man with his arm just kind of with the cybernetics kind of peeling off there. That's pretty cool. And we find the final member of the Sinister Six as this giant hand comes down and smashes him. And Dr. Octopus says, "A friend of our dear departed partner, Kraven the Hunter, I give you Gog." A great splash page here to finish it out. We got all the guns pointing here at Spider-Man. He's just like chilling out here. He's like, I'll tell you what, let's call it a draw. And we get a letters page here. We get some letters talking about Eric Larson's first issue, Spider-Man number 15. A lot of people talking about how, they weren't sure if they were going to keep reading Spider-Man after Todd McFarlane left, but they enjoyed Eric's artwork and his story. And Eric talks about how he created the characters Powerhouse and Knockout as well. So the letters page here on an Eric Larson book, as always, worth the read. And this issue's worth the read as well. Really fun issue. Once the action kicks in too, the art just really, really takes off. So thanks for clicking on the video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. I really appreciate it. To all my subscribers so far, thank you for subscribing. And I'll see you on the next video.